In this video, I want to look at the first two chapters of the Checklist Manifesto and kind of point out some things that I want you to note. The chapter one, the problem of extreme complexity, is very interesting. It has an amazing story about a child that fell through ice and drowned, but was revived, and what it took to do that. But I think that even though the story is fascinating, the point is that medicine is very complex. The number of things that needed to be done to revive that girl a list was very long, and I think the other element to the problem of extreme complexity is that we realize that we really can't do anything alone, that we have to work in teams. And again, I think Gawande comes to that through the book, that teamwork is huge, but he leaves that out of the introduction. So anyway, one of the things that the way in which we have dealt with extreme complexity is to become super specialized. He says that surgeons are absurdly ultra specialized these days. And I really could relate to this because in the last year I had a surgery as well. And the doctor who I went to had done over 2,000 of these surgeries, and that was his specialty. He is very practiced in that, and that's pretty much the only surgery he does. But he's very good at it. And so Gawande says that that's basically what we've come to. So that's what really the main point of the problem of extreme complexity is, that there's a lot more knowledge. We become more specialized, so we become experts in whatever the area is, and it's a little bit narrower, more specific area that we become experts in. And that I would say that the missing link here is that it takes more than one person to do these amazing things like a surgery. So the next chapter, however, is the introduction to the checklist. So I'm going to go ahead and read these first couple pages. On October 30th, 1935, at Wright Airfield in Dayton, Ohio, the U.S. Army Air Corps held a flight competition for airplane manufacturers vying to build the military's next generation long-range bomber. It wasn't supposed to be much of a competition, and early evaluations of the Boeing Corporation's gleaming aluminum alloy Model 299 had trounced the designs of Martin and Douglas. Boeing's plane could carry 5 times as many bombs as the Army had requested. It could fly faster than previous bombers and almost twice as fast. A Seattle newspaperman who had glimpsed the plane on a test flight over his city called it the Flying Fortress, and the name stuck. The flight competition, according to the military historian Philip Mellinger, was regarded as a mere formality. The Army planned to order at least 65 of the aircraft. Okay. A small crowd of Army brass and manufacturing executives watched as the Model 299 test plane taxied onto the runway. It was sleek and impressive, with a 103-foot wingspan and 4 engines jutting out from the wings, rather than the usual 2. The plane roared down the tarmac, lifted off smoothly, and climbed sharply to 300 feet. Then it stalled, turned on one wing, and crashed in a fiery explosion. The two of the 5 crew members died, including the pilot, Major Ployer P. Hill. An investigation revealed that nothing mechanical had gone wrong. The crash had been due to pilot error, the report said. Substantially more complex than previous aircraft, the new plane required the pilot to attend to the 4 engines, each with its own oil-fuel mix, the retractable landing gear, the wing flaps, electric trim tabs that needed adjustment to maintain stability at different airspeeds, and constant speed propellers whose pitch had to be regulated with hydraulic controls, among other features. While doing all this, Hill had forgotten to release a new locking mechanism on the elevator and rudder controls. The Boeing model was deemed, as a newspaper put it, too much airplane for one man to fly. The Army Air Corps declared Douglas's smaller design the winner, and Boeing nearly went bankrupt. So you might ask, well, wow, what were they going to do with this 4-engine airplane. It seemed too complex. And one solution might be to make the technology so that it's easier to do by one person. In some regards, we do that now. We use computers to take care of some of the complexity. But another is to do more training, and they decided that more training was not going to work because Major Hill, the one who died, had more training than anyone in the world at that point. The problem was there were just too many things to remember, so their solution was to come up with a checklist. The pilot check. They created a pilot's checklist because the flying this plane was too complicated to be left to the memory of any one person. All right. In the next video, I will look at the pilot's checklist in the medical field.